So if you know you are a kind of person that will monetize a channel and then you step away for a little bit, probably because you want to face family, education, or because life is doing you, or you are doing life, or one thing or the other, then you definitely have to watch this video. Let's be sincere. Getting monetized actually feel like a safe place. Like there's this feeling of I smashed the goals, like I got my 1,000 subscribers, I worked hard, I got my 4,000 watch hours. But then crossing over to this line, is it really a safe place? Do you actually know that you can get demonetized for not doing anything? Yes, like I'm going to explain that in this video. If you've been around YouTube, let's say in 2023 or 2024, I'm sure you would be familiar with this story. Around this period, YouTube started sending message of demonetization to channels that were inactive. This message was more like an email. So this email was basically asking them to upload and keep their channel active in the next 30 days, and that failure to do so will lead to demonetization. And then what actually happened? Some people actually ignored this message, not because they wanted to. Some felt like, oh, they are already monetized, so why would they demonetize them just for nothing, just like that? While some on their own part, they did not even see this message because it was more like an email. And then most of us with our poor email culture, right? And for those who did not act on this email, guess what happened? Their channel eventually got demonetized. Not because they had a strike, no, they had no strike, they had no copyright issue, just because of inactivity. Now, fast forward to 2026, those kind of emails are beginning to repeat themselves. Like channels that have remained inactive in the past 5 to 6 months are being sent messages that in the next 30 days their channel will be demonetized. See, I know life might be doing you, abi you might be doing life, whatever the case might be. If you know you are monetized and then for one reason or the other you've not been able to make any posts, to upload videos in the past 4 to 5 months, please, I would advise you to go ahead and create a video. Do not allow your channel to get to 6 months of inactivity so that you won't just suffer this demonetization. Like at this point, I would want to let you know that monetization on YouTube is not permanent. Yes, like you can be monetized today and then tomorrow demonetized, right? Your father does not own YouTube, so you should expect the unexpectable when it comes to YouTube. Is YouTube being unfair on this particular one? Honestly, I do not know. But then I would want us to look at this issue critically. So normally we know that YouTube, they make their money from advertisers, right? So advertisers pay them for them to put their ads on people's video. That is to say, advertisers pay for predictable impressions, like they pay for impressions that they can actually predict. They pay for active audience, right? And they also pay for stable engagement. Now, think of you as a marketer, running ads. Of course, you want your ad to convert, you want your ad to get to active audiences. You don't want your ad to get pushed to audiences that are not active, or you don't even want it to go to the wrong audience, in terms of behavior, in terms of their choices. Now I want us to paint a picture of two channels. Let's say channel A and then channel B. Okay, now for channel A, they've been uploading consistently, like they've been making uploads as much as possible, and then they've also been getting views, right? So what that means is that they will be having engagement, and then when ads are being run on this kind of videos, they can easily convert, because we know that sometimes when YouTube is running ad on a video, they'll bring up some information to you. They'll be asking you, how relevant is this ad to you? Now, why do they do that? They do this because they want to know if your choices, if your behavior, if your pattern has changed. Because it's okay that, okay, you might want something this period, and then when you get it the next period, you are not interested in those kind of ad, right? So based on your answer for that particular ad, they will know the kind of ads that they will be pushing your way. That is it for channel A. Now let's look at channel B. Channel B has not uploaded in the past 6 to 8 months, right? And then you know that the moment you stop uploading, your videos begin to die gradually, right? And then they are still placing ads on those videos because, of course, you are monetized. But what happens? It's possible that the audience behaviors might have changed, their pattern might have changed, and then they are just running ads on those videos, and those ads are not converting. When monetized, it feels like you've won a trophy. Like, of course, who won't feel that way? Because the journey is not easy, especially the road to 4,000 watch hour. But then I would want you to see your monetization more like a license, right? You know how lawyers, accountants, or even doctors, how they get their licenses, right? For them to continue being in practice, those licenses require what? Compliance. Like, they must comply to the rules of the organization, and it also requires their presence. As a monetized channel, that is not to say I am asking you to upload daily or asking you to upload weekly. No. All I am basically saying is, do not leave your channel too long. At least drop video, even if it's once in a month, you get, so that your channel does not go inactive, so that you won't be asked to start from square one. So in my honest opinion, I would advise you to upload at least a long form video, even if it means you uploading one, like one monthly or even one in 2 months, right? Or if possible, if you can, try to go on live. It's also important to know that you can go ahead and then be posting shorts and then post to keep your channel active. But there is this particular creator, the real Ijeoma, that came out recently to talk about this, and then she mentioned that despite the fact that she was posting shorts to keep the channel active, they still went ahead to send those messages to her. So as much as possible, I would advise that you post long form videos or even go on live, just to show that you are active on the platform, just to bring a kind of engagement, so that YouTube doesn't just feel like you abandoned the platform. YouTube itself, they will tell you that resting is important, that it's okay if you want to rest, but the thing is, resting for the whole of that 6 months and your channel becomes demonetized for inactivity, you would have to rework back your monetization. Like, you would have to meet back the 1,000 subscribers, which I know you might already have, but you would also have to work back on getting your 4,000 watch hours. And I'm sure you definitely do not want to be in this shoe. Like, I mean, so in conclusion, YouTube have some rules you have to abide with if you eventually want to stay monetized. Like, you have to constantly stay updated with their old and new rules, so that you will know what not and what you should do. If you know you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up. Until next time when I come your way again, thank you so much for watching.